Reliever Roundup and Bullpen Bonanza is brought to you by Sport Relay. Honest, unbiased, and apolitical. Sport Relay, your connection to the diamond. And by A Complete History of the Major League Baseball Playoffs, Volumes 1 and 2, by Evan Thompson. Relive the glory. A Complete History of the Major League Baseball Playoffs.
This week on Reliever Roundup and Bullpen Bonanza, the latest update of the Drew Pomeranz ticker. August team and individual power rankings. And August team and individual awards. Don't go away. Reliever Roundup and Bullpen Bonanza begins now. Welcome to Reliever Roundup and Bullpen Bonanza. I'm your host, Evan Thompson, Editor-in-Chief, National Writer, and Athletics Writer at Sport Relay. I also wrote these two books. If you're interested in ordering a copy or two, there are links in the description box below this video. Volume 1 covers the pre-divisional tiebreakers through 1976, and Volume 2 covers 1977 through 1984. It also includes the 1978 AL East tiebreaker, also known as the Bucky Dent game, and the 1980 NL West tiebreaker, also known as the Joe Niekro game. Can you believe it's already September? We have some great division and wildcard races that are likely going to go down to the wire, and of course, relief corps are going to factor heavily in those races. Magic numbers are popping up everywhere. This is going to be a great month. I was hoping to film some scenes on location in St. Louis last week while I was there to cover the Athletics-Cardinals series. Well, I forgot my tripod, and I didn't have enough energy and time to get the show ready, so no film from St. Louis. I do, however, have some pictures. Here I am holding Stan Musial's bat in the Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum. Room got dusty when Janet handed me the bat there, and I highly recommend this museum. It's in Ballpark Village behind left field. Here is the view of Busch Stadium from inside the apex of Gateway Arch, 630 feet above the ground. And here is a demonstration of the power of the telephoto zoom lens on my phone. That's the third base dugout from my same vantage point inside the apex of Gateway Arch. All right, enough photos. This being an awards show, and this being long enough as it is, we have no guests this week. And we won't do any news or injury updates other than one thing that we must cover. It is time once again for the Drew Pomeranz ticker. Between August 28th and August 31st, he made one appearance on the road. And in the 8th inning of the Cubs-Rockies game on August 29th at Coors Field in Denver, with 1 on and 2 outs, he gave up a home run to Kyle Farmer. Those 2 earned runs were the first earned runs he allowed on the road since July 21st, 2021 at Atlanta, thus ending his remarkable road relief scoreless streak at 22 appearances. Congratulations, Drew, on a remarkable run. Welcome back to Reliever Roundup and Bullpen Bonanza. It's time for the Team Relief Corps Power Rankings for August. These rankings include every pitch thrown in relief by a player wearing their team's uniform, excluding position players, during the month of August. This table shows the scoring breakdown. Teams are ranked in clutch, run prevention, base runner prevention, and command, weighted as shown. The final score determines the ranking. 0 means right at league average. Positive is better than league average. Negative is below league average. A score of 100 means the team is 100% better than league average. A score of 50 is 50% better. A score of negative 50 is 50% lower, and so on. Each whole number equals 1 percentage point. We will start with the number 30 team and work our way to number 1. American League teams will appear in red. National League teams in blue. The first number in parentheses after the team name is their rank within their league, and the number after the comma shows the change in their major league rank from the July rankings to these August rankings. Keep in mind, some of these teams had drastically different rosters in August due to the fact that they either made trades to gain new blood or to send a pitcher to a different team and try and cash out and get some prospects and start over. Here we go. Our first group is pray for a blowout win. At number 30, the New York Mets, free-falling 26 spots with a score of negative 22.2. Number 29 is the Texas Rangers, down 17 with negative 18.7. Number 28 is the Toronto Blue Jays, tumbling 19 spots with a score of negative 16.8. And number 27, the Chicago White Sox, sliding 12 places after finishing with negative 16.2. Next is stock up on Tums. At number 26, the Baltimore Orioles, down 12 spots after scoring negative 13.2. In number 25, the Miami Marlins, dropping 14 spots with a score of negative 8.4. In lots of work to do, we have 5 teams this month. Number 24, the New York Yankees, climbing 5 spots after scoring negative 5.8. Number 23, the Pittsburgh Pirates, plummeting 22 places to negative 5.6. Keep in mind, they traded most of their back end. Number 22, the San Francisco Giants, down 1 spot after scoring negative 5.0. Number 21, the Los Angeles Dodgers, up a spot with a score of negative 4.8. And number 20, the St. Louis Cardinals, falling 3 spots with a score of negative 4.6. Slightly below average has 2 teams. The number 19 Minnesota Twins, who sank 12 spots after scoring 2.3. And the number 18 Los Angeles Angels, down 8 spots with a score of 7.3. In the average, number 17 is the Washington Nationals, jumping 11 spots with 11.6. And number 16, the Arizona Diamondbacks, up 8 spots with 14.2. Slightly above average features 5 clubs. Number 15, the Seattle Mariners, down 2 spots with 18.3 points. Number 14, the Cincinnati Reds, who climbed 12 spots with a score of 18.4. Number 13, the Philadelphia Phillies, up 6 spots with 18.5. Number 12, the Athletics, gaining 4 spots with 20.5. And number 11, the San Diego Padres, dropping 9 spots with 21.6. The Good has 2 teams. At number 10, the Cleveland Guardians, down 5 spots with 26.1. And number 9, the Chicago Cubs, slipping a spot with 29.3. The Very Good is a 3-team group this month. Number 8, the Tampa Bay Rays, surging 19 spots with a score of 33.8. Number 7, the Houston Astros, up 11 spots with 37.5. And number 6, the Boston Red Sox, down 3 spots with 42.8. Better Take an Early Lead has 3 teams this month. Number 5, the Milwaukee Brewers, up a spot with 50.7. Number 4, the Kansas City Royals, who climbed 16 spots with a score of 52.5. And number 3, the Colorado Rockies, who rocketed up 27 spots with 52.9 points. They were number 30 last month. That's amazing. And finally, the outliers. At number 2, the Detroit Tigers, up 23 spots with a massive score of 83.2. And at number 1, the Atlanta Braves, soaring 22 spots with a staggering score of 94.0. The biggest gainers in this edition are the Rockies, up 27, the Tigers, up 23, the Braves, up 22, the Rays, up 19, and the Royals, up 16. The biggest drops came from the Mets, down 26, the Pirates, down 22, the Blue Jays, down 19, the Rangers, down 17, and the Marlins, who fell 14 spots. Before we end this segment, here's a look at August's scatter plot. That brings us to the team award winners for August. You've already seen who they are, but here we'll go into more detail as to why they earned the scores that they did. First, the American League Relief Corps of the Month, the Detroit Tigers. They had an AL best 8.7 goose egg per broken egg ratio in August. 26 goose eggs, second in the American League, and 3 broken eggs tied for the American League best. Remember, with broken eggs, the lower the better. Their ERA minus was 70, tied for second in the American League. Additionally, their WHIP, 1206, was 5th in the AL. That combined for an overall score of, as we said earlier, 83.2. Congratulations to the Tigers. The shakiest American League relief corps of the month was the Texas Rangers. They had the lowest overall score in the American League, obviously, negative 18.7 as a reminder, but it was also the second lowest in the majors. The Rangers had 1.2 goose eggs per broken eggs, last in the American League, and also had an AL low 11 goose eggs. For context, the AL average ratio this month was 2.9, and the American League average for goose eggs per team was 15. The Rangers also had 9 broken eggs, tied for 4th worst in the American League. Their 68.9 scoreless percentage was 12th in the American League, and for reference, the AL average for the month was 72.4. Additionally, their ERA minus of 110 was also 12th in the American League. The Rangers' reliever WHIP of 1260 was middle of the pack, 7th in the AL, better than the AL average, which was 1302. But you want a low WHIP as well as a low home run percentage. The Rangers did not have a low home run percentage. It was 4.5%, second worst in both the American League and the majors, as well as 1.4 percentage points higher than the American League average. The AL's biggest plunge for August came from the Toronto Blue Jays, whose relief performance contributed to their inability to take a stranglehold on the American League East. Putting July and August side by side, we can readily see the reasons for their nosedive. In July, 23.9 points overall, 4th in the American League, 9th in the majors. 3.6 goose eggs per broken egg, 6th in the American League. 25 goose eggs, tied for second. 73.26 scoreless outing percentage, 5th in the American League. I carried it out to 2 decimal places because it rounded to 73.3 and they were tied with somebody. I don't know why I'm telling you this, because you don't have both of them on the screen, whatever. Anyway, continuing. 113 ERA minus, which was 12th in the American League, signs of impending doom, you could say. 1408 WHIP, 12th in the American League, also a sign of impending doom. 3.4 home run percentage, 10th in the American League, but 16.9 K percentage minus walk percentage, 2nd in the American League. Now August. Negative 16.8 points, 14th in the American League and 28th in the majors. 1.3 goose eggs per broken egg, 14th in the American League. 25 goose eggs, 10 broken eggs, both tied for 13th in the American League. 74.3 scoreless outing percentage, 6th in the American League. 110 ERA minus, 11th in the American League. 15-17 WHIP, dead last in the American League. 2.5 home run percentage, 5th in the American League, so at least they kept the ball in the ballpark. But a 9.2 K minus walk percentage, 14th in the American League. The most improved American League relief unit in August was one that had a remarkable bounce back. Team that also got American League Relief Corps of the Month, the Detroit Tigers. They had a great June, a lousy July, and a great August. Here is a side-by-side stat comparison for a deeper look. In July, they had negative 11.2 overall points, 13th in the American League and 25th in the majors. 2.0 goose eggs per broken egg, tied for 11th in the American League. 14 goose eggs, also tied for 11th in the American League. 7 broken eggs, tied for 4th worst in the American League. 137 ERA minus, tied for 13th in the AL, and a 15.43 WHIP, dead last in the American League. But August. Post-trade deadline. Remember, they picked up Kyle Finnegan, and he was a big help. In August, they had 83.2 points. Like we said earlier, that was an AL best, and it was second in the majors. Their goose egg per broken egg ratio was also best in the American League, 8.7. 26 goose eggs, tied for second. 3 broken eggs, tied for the American League best. 70 ERA minus, tied for second in the American League, and a 12.06 WHIP, 5th in the American League. Moving on to the National League Relief Corps of the Month, the Atlanta Braves. The Braves had an NL best goose egg broken egg ratio of 8.7, just like the Tigers. 6.1 points better than the National League average of 2.6 for August. It broke down to 26 goose eggs versus 3 broken eggs. 26 goose eggs was third best in the National League, and 3 broken eggs, again, remember, lower the better here, was second best in the National League. They had a scoreless outing percentage of 76.5%, second in the National League, and an ERA minus of 82, fifth best in the National League. Their 1246 whip was 6th best in the National League, but was 56 points better than the league average of 1302. Now for the shakiest National League relief corps of the month, the New York Mets. Their score of negative 22.2 was not only the lowest in the National League, but the lowest in the majors. This from the team that finished 4th in the majors in July. And remember, they traded for help at the trade deadline. The biggest reason for their low score was their 0.9 goose egg per broken egg ratio. Worst in the majors. Yes, that means they had more broken eggs than goose eggs. Their 9 goose eggs were the lowest in the majors, and their 10 broken eggs were tied for the second most, aka second worst, in the National League. They had the 9th lowest scoreless outing percentage in the National League with 68.8%, nearly 2 points below the NL average of 70.6%. Their ERA minus was 100, meaning after adjusting for their home park, it was equal to the National League average for all pitchers, but it was 12th in the National League among relief units. The rest of their relevant stats were mostly middle of the pack, but they are the stats that carry the lowest weight in the overall score. Their whip, 1299, 8th in the National League, 6 points lower than the NL average of 1305. Home run percentage was 5th at 2.6. National League average was 3.0, so did a pretty good job keeping the ball in the ballpark. And finally, their K- walk percentage was 7th, 14.3, half a percentage point better than the National League average of 13.8. The National League's biggest plunge for August also came from the Mets. Here's the side-by-side. August we just went through. We'll put it up here for reference, but let's compare it to July. In July, 49.4 points, third in the National League, 4th in the majors. 5.8 goose eggs per broken eggs, third in the National League. 4 broken eggs, tied for 4th best in the National League. 69.1 scoreless outing percentage, 13th in the NL. So that's a sign of impending doom. That's for sure. 102 ERA minus, 10th in the National League. A 1360 whip, which was 9th in the National League. 3.4 home run percentage, 12th in the National League. And a 13.9 K- walk percentage, 8th in the National League. Now, the National League's most improved relief corps of the month for August? The Colorado Rockies, who were the shakiest National League relief corps in July. Props to them. Let's see the side-by-side. In July, negative 21.5 points, worst in the majors. 1.8 goose eggs per broken eggs, 11th in the National League. The sad part was that wasn't 15th. 11 goose eggs, tied for 8th in the National League. 6 broken eggs, tied for the 5th worst in the National League. 51.3 scoreless outing percentage, worst in the majors. 151 ERA minus, also worst in the majors. 1795 whip, worst in the majors. 3.4 home run percentage, 11th in the National League, and 8.8 K- walk percentage, which was worst in the majors. But August. 52.9 points, 2nd in the National League and 3rd in the majors. 7.0 goose eggs per broken eggs, 2nd in the National League, 3rd in the majors. Yes, I know they didn't win all that many games, but when they had a close lead late, they were nails. 14 goose eggs, tied for 10th in the National League. 2 broken eggs, best in the majors. 62.8 scoreless outing percentage, which was worst in the majors, but again, not when they were protecting a late, narrow lead. 99 ERA minus, 11th in the National League. A 14.26 whip, 13th in the National League. 4.0 home run percentage, 12th in the National League. They do play in Denver, but how is 4.0 12th in the National League? There were 3 teams worse. And an 11.1 K- walk percentage, 13 in the National League. Up next, our individual leaderboards and awards for August. Welcome back to Reliever Roundup and Bullpen Bonanza. It is time for the individual power rankings for August. Statistics include every regular season game during the month of August. To qualify for the rankings, there is a minimum of 7 relief appearances in the goose egg per broken egg plus statistic, which forms 2/3 of the clutch category we use to rate setup men and closers. There is a minimum of 4 goose eggs plus broken eggs. A link to our ranking methods is in the description box below this video. A note on the roles. If a team is using co-closers, we list both as closers. If it is closer by committee, we list all members of that committee as setup men. And where do we go for this? Roster resource on Fangraphs, closer depth chart. We will start by listing the middlemen and setup men from each league who finished in 2nd through 10th place, as well as the closers from each league who finished in 2nd through 5th. Then we will reveal our award winners. Here we go. The American League middle relievers. Number 10 from the Seattle Mariners with 31.7, Eduard Bizardo. Number 9 from the Baltimore Orioles with 32.2, Grant Wolfram. Number 8 from the Blue Jays with 32.4, Tommy Nance. 33.2 is the score of our 7th place finisher, Enyel De Los Santos from the Astros. Number 6, Sean Armstrong from the Rangers, 34.2. I know he's the closer now, but in August he was a middleman, so we're ranking him as a middleman. 5th place from the Athletics with 41.6, Hogan Harris. 4th place, his teammate Justin Sterner with 41.9. Number 3 from the Royals with 45.7, Taylor Clark. And number 2 from the Rays with 47.8, Edwin Uceta. Now for the National League middle relievers. Number 10 from the Brewers with 27.3, Shelby Miller. In 9th from the Giants with 32.0, Jose Butto. Number 8 from the Pirates with 32.1, Dauri Moreta. In 7th with 32.3 from the Phillies. Welcome back to the league, David Robertson. He is the only player still active who has won a World Series while a member of the New York Yankees. He was on their 09 team. Crazy, huh? In 6th, from the Cubs with 33.7, Drew Pomeranz. In 5th, from the Cardinals with 33.8, Matt Swanson. In 4th, from the Cubs with 35.0, Taylor Rogers. In 3rd, from the Braves with 35.7, Dylan Dodd. And in 2nd, from the Mets with 42.0, Brooks Raley. Now for the American League setup men. In 10th place, from the Astros with 83.6, Brian King. In 9th, from the Guardians with 101.3, Hunter Gaddis. 8th place, from the White Sox with 105.3, Steven Wilson. Garrett Whitlock of the Red Sox is our 7th place finisher for the month of August among AL setup men with 113.7. John Schreiber of the Royals finished 6th with 139.5. In 5th with 145.2 from the Angels, Reed Detmers. In 4th, from the Mariners, Gabe Spire with 152.9. In 3rd from the Rays with 153.0. Talk about a narrow margin there. Garrett Clevenger. And in 2nd with 156.7 from the Twins, Cole Sands. Now for the National League setup men. In 10th from the Reds with 142.8, Graham Ashcraft. In 9th, Juan Mejia of the Rockies with 151.3. In 8th, his teammate Jimmy Herget with 160.5. In 7th, from the Reds, Tony Santillan with 161.3. In 6th, from the Giants with 174.9, Ryan Walker. Coming in 5th from the Braves, 196.8 is his score. Tyler Kinley is his name. In 4th with 203.4 from the Marlins, Ronnie Enriquez. In 3rd, from the Brewers with 240.2, Abner Uribe. And in 2nd, with 260.3, from the Diamondbacks, welcome back, Andrew Saalfrank. Now to the American League closers. In 5th, with 174.7, from the Astros, Brian Abreu. In 4th, from the Tigers, with 182.6, one head of their two-headed monster, Will Vest. In 3rd, from the Guardians with 184.7, Cade Smith. Now the top 2 American League closers we will reveal in the award winner segment. Something unusual happened. We'll get to that. Now for the National League closers. In 5th with 85.7, from the Mets, Edwin Diaz. In fourth, from the Reds with 87.3, Emilio Pagan. In third with 196.7, wow, what a jump, from the Phillies, Joan Duran. And in second, from the Nationals with 227.5, Jose A. Ferrer. Now to the award winners. First is our American League Middle Reliever of the Month. He turned in an 83.3 scoreless outing percentage, allowing earned runs in 2 of his 12 appearances. Over 12 innings, he posted a 35 ERA minus, a minuscule 417 whip, and a 34.1 K- walk percentage, striking out 36.6% of batters faced while walking only 2.4%. 1 walk all month. That's it. That performance earned him 52.1 points, an 84-point improvement over his July score of negative 31.9. The American League Middle Reliever of the Month for August, from the Tampa Bay Rays, Brian Baker. The National League Middle Reliever of the Month logged a 91.7 scoreless outing percentage, giving up earned runs in only 1 of his 12 games. In those 12 innings, he recorded a 50 ERA minus, a 917 whip, and did not allow a single home run. He paired that with a 21.7 K- walk percentage to finish with 43.9 points. From the San Diego Padres, the National League Middle Reliever of the Month for August is Adrian Morejon. Turning now to the American League Setup Man of the Month. In 14 2/3 innings across 13 games, he allowed 2 earned runs all month for an 84.6 scoreless outing percentage. The 2 earned runs, by the way, solo homer to Bob Seymour on the 20th, and a single by Trevor Story, followed by a double by Nathaniel Lowe on the 21st. He notched 7 goose eggs against only 1 broken egg, a 7.0 goose egg per broken egg ratio, obviously, because we can all do math, 7 divided by 1, with an 818 whip and a 28.6 K- walk percentage, striking out over a third of the hitters he faced. With 171.7 points, the American League Setup Man of the Month for August from the New York Yankees, Luke Weaver. The National League Setup Man of the Month was untouchable. In 13 1/3 innings over 14 games, he posted a perfect 100 scoreless outing percentage with 9 goose eggs, no broken eggs, and 1 meh. His whip was a razor-thin 450, and he paired that with a 25.5 K- walk percentage. That dominance translated to a massive 273.9 points. Our National League Setup Man of the Month for August from the Chicago Cubs, Brad Keller. To the American League Closer of the Month, who was simply unhittable. It's absolutely extraordinary. Cannot believe what we're seeing from this guy. In 11 innings across 12 appearances, he delivered 7 goose eggs, no broken eggs, and a perfect 100.0 scoreless outing percentage. He stranded all 3 runners he inherited, allowed no hits, walked 1 batter, and posted a microscopic 0.91 whip. That's the lowest whip I've ever seen for a multi-game span. Absolutely unbelievable. He no-hit the whole month of August. His 38.2 K- walk percentage came from striking out 41.2% of hitters while walking only 2.9%. Again, 1 walk the whole month. Only base runner he allowed the whole month because he didn't hit anybody. With 218.4 points, our American League Closer of the Month for August from the Boston Red Sox, I'm not sure he's human, Aroldis Chapman. Our top National League Closer in August allowed 1 earned run all month. Good for a 92.3 scoreless outing percentage. In 13 innings across 13 games, he racked up 10 goose eggs, no broken eggs, and 1 meh. He did not allow a home run at all, walked nobody, and finished with a 615 whip and a 27.7 K- walk percentage. This all added up to a staggering 294.0 points. The National League Closer of the Month for August from the Atlanta Braves, Raisel Iglesias. The biggest plunge in the American League came from Blue Jays setup man Yadiel Rodriguez. In July, he had 5 goose eggs and no broken eggs, with 11 scoreless outings in 13 games for an 84.6 scoreless rate. He allowed 3 earned runs in 12 2/3 innings, posted a 1263 whip, and had a 7.4 K- walk percentage, finishing with 110.8 points. August was a different story. No goose eggs, 2 broken eggs, 6 scoreless outings out of 11 games for a 54.5 scoreless rate. Ugh. He allowed 8 earned runs in 9 1/3 innings, gave up 9 hits, 9 walks, and hit a batter, ballooning his whip to 1929. His K- walk percentage dipped into the negatives at negative 2.2%, striking out 17.8 but walking 20%. That left him with a negative 32.8 points, a drop of 143.6 points from July. The biggest plunge in the National League came from Mets reliever Ryan Helsley, who, as we revealed last week, thanks to an article from Anthony DiComo from MLB.com, was tipping. In July with the Cardinals, he had 4 goose eggs and 1 broken egg. 6 scoreless outings in 7 games for an 85.7% scoreless rate, allowing 1 earned run in 7 innings. He posted a 1286 whip and a 16.7 K- walk percentage, finishing the month with 65.0 points. But in August, with the Mets, he managed 6 scoreless outings in 12 games for an even 50.0% scoreless rate, allowing 12 earned runs in 9 2/3 innings for a 256 ERA-. He had only 1 goose egg against 4 broken eggs, a 0.3 goose egg per broken egg ratio. It's actually 0.25, but we round to 1 decimal place, so that's why it's 0.3. And a 2276 whip. His August score was negative 60.1, a drop of 125.1 points from July. Now for the more positive category, most improved. Our most improved reliever in the American League was someone who switched teams at the deadline. In July, with his old team, he had 2 goose eggs and 2 broken eggs for a straight 1.0 goose egg per broken egg ratio. Remember, the historical average is 3. Allowed 10 earned runs in 8 innings and posted a 277 ERA- with a 1750 whip and a 7.9 K- walk percentage, finishing at 17.0 points. But in August, with his new team, he was flawless. 10 goose eggs, no broken eggs, no earned runs in 14 1/3 innings across 12 games, a perfect 100% scoreless outing percentage, a 419 whip, and 32.7 K- walk percentage. That earned him 266.6 points, a 283.6 point improvement. Our American League most improved reliever for August from the Detroit Tigers, the other half of their 2-headed closer monster, Kyle Finnegan. Please note, his overall score was actually higher than Aroldis Chapman's. But because Chapman didn't allow a hit all month, which absolutely blew my mind, and because Finnegan's margin in the point category came from having 10 goose eggs versus 7 for Chapman, but that was as many opportunities as each of them had, I called an audible. Guy no hits a whole month with that many appearances, I got to do it. I could not have made it where Finnegan got 2 awards and Chapman didn't get any. It wouldn't have worked in my brain. So, there you go. Chapman, American League Closer of the Month. Finnegan gets most improved. Both of them had tremendous months. Both deserve recognition. So congratulations to both of them. Most improved reliever in the National League. Instead of saying his name at the end, we'll say it at the beginning because he was also the setup man of the month, Brad Keller from the Cubs. We've already covered his dominant August. We'll put his August stats on the screen for reference. And we'll go through July. 2 goose eggs, 1 broken egg. A 2.0 goose egg to broken egg ratio. 7 earned runs in 9 1/3 innings, 164 ERA-, a 1393 whip, and a 16.7 K- walk percentage, finishing at negative 16.3 points. That makes his August leap to 273.9 points all the more remarkable. That's a gain of 290.3 points. Absolutely incredible. Congratulations to Keller. Congratulations to all our August award winners. That concludes this installment of Reliever Roundup and Bullpen Bonanza from Sport Relay. Join us next time when we will go through weeks 22 and 23. Week 22 briefly and week 23 in more detail. I'm Evan Thompson. Thank you for watching, and we will see you then. Thank you for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. Click subscribe so you'll never miss an episode of this show or of our other show, Trade Trees. Tell your friends and baseball contacts. If you haven't done so yet, consider buying my books. A Complete History of the Major League Baseball Playoffs, Volume 1 and Volume 2. There are links in the description box below this video. And finally, bookmark and regularly visit sportrelay.com. Until next time, this is Evan Thompson saying so long for now.